chapter 8 of Sallustius on the gods and the world. So this is an interesting chapter because it deals with the soul and the different personalities that we as people have, and why the soul is immortal, which is an interesting topic again. So this is chapter 8. But there is a certain power subordinate to essence, but prior to soul. From essence indeed deriving its being, but perfecting soul. In the same manner as the sun perfects corporeal sight. And of souls, some irrational and immoral, but other irrational and mortal. And the first of these are produced from the first, but the second from the second order of gods. But in the first place, let's investigate the definition of a soul. So soul then is that by which animates natures differ from such as inanimate. But they differ through motion, sense, fantasy, and intelligence. So he's going to break down the different kinds of people and souls. So you have the irrational soul, therefore is sensitive and fantastic at life. But the rational soul is that which rules over sense and fantasy and uses reason and its energies. And the irrational soul indeed is subservient to the corporeal passions, for it desires without reason, and is inflamed with anger. But the rational soul, through the assistance of reason, despises the body, and contending with the irrational soul, when it conquers, produces virtue, but when it is conquered, vice. So when we overcome our quick to anger, our vices, as it says, we discover more virtue and become more virtuous. But when we let our passions and our addictions rule our lives, then it becomes a vice to us, is what it's saying. So it is necessary that the rational soul should be immortal because it knows the gods. For nothing mortal knows that which is let me say that again. It's necessary that the rational soul should be immortal because it knows the gods. For nothing mortal knows that which is immortal. Besides this, it despises human concerns as foreign from its nature, and has a disposition contrary to bodies, as being itself incorporeal. Add to that when the body with which a soul is connected is beautiful and young, then that soul is oppressed and its vigor diminished. But when this grows old, the soul revives and increases in strength and vigor. And every worthy soul uses intellect, but intellect is not generated by the body. For how can things destitute of intellect generate intellect? It's funny, kind of in a way that when you're young, you're not as wise and into virtue because you're all over the place, we'll say in a G-rated. But the older you get, the more mature your soul gets because you're less interested in your wiles, we'll say, has calmed down the older you get, hopefully. And so the soul becomes more virtuous. So kind of what he's saying. But employing the body as an instrument, it does not subsist in body. In the same manner as no artificer or maker of machines subsists in his machines, yet many of these, without anyone touching them, are moved from place to place. But we ought not wonder if the rational soul is often led astray by the body. For arts themselves, when their instruments are damaged, are incapable of operation. So again, this is an interesting topic, talking about the soul, the different kinds of people, and the mastery over urges just to be a better person and find more virtue, because the older you get, hopefully the more virtuous you'll be as well as you learn. All right, that is the short chapter of chapter 8. So what do you think of that? Let me know in the comments as we continue on these Sundays with Sallustius, and I hope you guys are liking it. Next week we're going to do chapter 9 on about fate and fortune. I'll see you then. Bye.